The county website didn't thank you when you paid property taxes. It just updated the balance from red to black. That was the first thing she noticed after wiring the $700-800. No relief, no ceremony, just a timestamp and a receipt number. She sat at her kitchen table eating reheated soup while the confirmation email loaded on her phone. Her father had called 3 times that week before the payment cleared. His voice had carried that strained, practical panic families used when money got close to public consequences. If we lose the house, he'd said, your mother will never recover from it, so she paid it, not because she trusted them, not even because she felt particularly loved there anymore. The house was simply the last physical thing in their family that still resembled stability. Birthdays had happened there. Snow days. Her mother once painted the kitchen cabinets herself because they couldn't afford replacements. A month later, she found the engagement party photos while scrolling during lunch. Not through an invitation, not even by accident from her sister. A cousin had reposted them, string lights stretched across the backyard fence, folding tables covered in white linen, her sister smiling beside a man she vaguely recognized from Christmas 2 years earlier, their father standing near the grill with one arm raised mid-law, the same backyard. The same house that had almost gone into tax foreclosure 6 weeks earlier. She looked at every photo carefully, the way people inspect evidence after they already know the answer. No empty chair set aside, no message saying they missed her, nobody asking where she was, just comfort. That hurt more than cruelty would. She waited until after work to call. Her father answered on the 4th try. Oh, he said. Hey, she asked about the engagement party plainly. No accusation in her voice. She was careful about that now. A pause settled between them. Then he sighed like she'd made something difficult. It was just too much drama to include you. She almost asked what drama, but somewhere in her 30s she'd started noticing something important about her family. They described accountability as conflict. If you remembered things accurately, you became exhausting. So she said nothing. That seemed to unsettle him more. Over the next few days she reviewed documents she'd ignored after paying the taxes. During the delinquency process, her father had temporarily added her name to part of the property paperwork so she could communicate directly with the county office and access the overdue account. At the time, everybody treated it like a formality. Now she scheduled a consultation. The attorney wasn't dramatic. That helped. He explained ownership percentages, liability exposure, payment authorization, supplemental assessments still pending against the property. Her name, while partial and temporary in intention, still carried legal attachment in several places. What are you actually trying to do? He asked gently. She thought about that for a while. Separate myself cleanly, so she did. She removed her financial authorization from the tax account, froze future processing connected to her identity until ownership clarification could be updated formally, filed the paperwork she was advised to file, no threats. No speeches, just signatures. The county mailed notices automatically after that. By the next morning, the engagement pictures were gone from Facebook. Her father called 6 times before noon. When she finally answered, his voice sounded different, less parental, more uncertain. What exactly did you do? I removed myself from accounts attached to my name. You're making this harder than it needs to be. She almost laughed at that. Months earlier, she'd spent entire evenings on hold with tax offices while he ignored half her calls. She remembered scanning documents during work breaks, remembered him saying, handle whatever they need. Now suddenly paperwork mattered emotionally. 2 days later, a county clerk contacted the household directly. Ownership clarification would need processing before future payment arrangements could continue. Certain authorizations attached to prior delinquency filings were no longer active. Institutional language. Calm. Impersonal, but for the first time, somebody official was explaining consequences to her parents instead of her. Her sister texted that night, not apologizing exactly, just softening. I think things got misunderstood. She stared at the message for a long time before locking her phone again. Misunderstood was a useful family word. It covered neglect without admitting intent. Weeks passed. The situation eventually stabilized. It always did. Her father hired someone locally to untangle the remaining paperwork. The house stayed theirs. The engagement continued. No catastrophe arrived. That wasn't what changed things anyway. One evening after work, she drove through the neighborhood without planning to. The backyard looked small again without the lights. Ordinary fence, ordinary grass. For years she'd mistaken usefulness for closeness. If they needed money, signatures, emotional labor, she existed vividly to them. If they needed celebration, softness, family photographs, she became too much drama. The realization didn't make her angry anymore, mostly tired, but lighter too. At a red light near the subdivision entrance, her phone buzzed again with another call from her father. This time, she let it ring until the screen went dark.